Alright, so back in my prime, I used to rip like 40 minute to 1 hour showcases like it was absolutely nothing. You can look back on my oldest videos, I would do literally 2 hour showcases with like Mr. Fantastic. And I haven't done it in like over a year, so I thought I'd bring it back, change it to something fancy, which is Super Showcase. And yeah, now we have the first one, which is Werewolf by Night, who you could argue is the most versatile mystic character in this game. And that's my first question to you. Do you think that he is the most versatile mystic character in this game? I was gonna just like try to not answer it just so to like, be safe, but then I realized that I'm dramatic, so I will say yes. I think he is the most versatile mystic character in this game. And like, here's example A, man. That was a Yelena. That is a 2025 meta defender in 50 seconds full yellow bar. That's unreal. That's like, I don't think any other mystic character can do that besides maybe Shothra, and I feel like Werewolf by Night does it like easier. So yeah, that's like insane. Like, that is truly crazy. I think Shothra is like the biggest competitor to this character when it comes to versatility, and like, I adore Shothra. She's a really powerful character, but something about Werewolf by Night and like his ease of use makes me favor him in a lot of scenarios. Like, for example, Dark Phoenix, it's a very good matchup for Shothra, and then again, like, Werewolf by Night is a very strong counter as well, because he doesn't really hit the damage cap, so he does lower the Ember charges, which does remove the DOT damage reduction, so he can just do his regular damage output, and the result is a lot of rupture damage and a lot of beautiful red numbers that, like, it honestly feels like he isn't doing a ton of damage like at one time, but once you realize that he actually is doing a ton of damage per second, it is really satisfying to play this character. And yeah, this matchup is just about over after I dropped the SP1. Took a bit of a health loss there, but that literally is guaranteed when you fight Dark Phoenix, so that's very frustrating, but yeah, that's Dark Phoenix for ya. Now we have Zola, another 2025 defender. Like I said, this character can take these 2025 defenders with absolute ease, and Zola is one that like I really didn't think was possible. But then again, this champion is like notorious for always like pulling things out of his like lower region, so he is a good Zola counter somehow, some way. But then again, I shouldn't be surprised at this point, and it is kind of why I rank forward him, because I just had a feeling that his versatility was still off the charts to this day, and I was right. He is like still very versatile. And by the way, here's how he counters Zola. He kind of just like eats the hit, and there you go. So the unstoppable does stop like Zola from doing any other hits besides that one hit that happens whenever you go to sleep. So yeah, he's not like really a hard counter, but he can tank the hit for sure, especially when like the fight time is that good. So it was still a pretty nice score, to be honest. But now we have this rank 4 Photon, which is also a very meta defender. Like, as you can see, this guy just takes pretty much any meta defender. There are some that like he isn't that good for, like Spider-Woman, for example. I would never wish that matchup upon like any of my biggest enemies besides Norm. He should do that matchup. But yeah, this is a very fun one because you get to just like kind of build up power and just like try to avoid hitting her, and for that reason she hardly ever gains her charges that make her a threat. And honestly, like, hit minimization is like one of his best attributes in my opinion, because it like enables so many matchups for this character. I think like Onslaught's a big one as well that he can do because of like that trick that he has. Also Hazard Shift, like all the Hazard Shift nodes he is pretty good for. And so yeah, like for that reason it is very hard to stop this guy, because he has that damage through block. That's Galan being stupid because this meta is terrible. Sorry, just had to say that, obviously, because yeah, this meta is very terrible and literally just revolves around Galan, so that's amazing. But then again, I have to thank him a ton because he's won me so many matchups, so I should just not say anything. But yeah, now we have Bullseye, another very meta defender. And like, I'm gonna be like honest, all these fights are meta defenders. He's just that good. Like, it's nearly impossible to stop this character. And one thing about his hit minimization is it also makes them like gain very minimal amounts of power. So it's like hit minimization, but also power minimization, which is absolutely huge for a character like Bullseye, where if he gains a bar of power, you are absolutely cooked in like most scenarios. But yeah, this Bullseye matchup is going very, very well. Mystic Dispersion is playing a pretty big part in this as well, because it's given us that extra passive power, and with the Chilling Howl like adding on top of that, you have this as a result, and you have a literally full yellow bar 50 something second takedown of Bullseye, which is utterly insane. Like, that is unreal. Now we have this one, which is like a less clean version, because I will admit that was like kind of lucky, but like for the most part it's a good matchup. Like, he does it just fine, and I would like do this pretty comfortably like in any scenario. However, I just want to show like multiple of these matchups just so you can see like, okay, what if it goes a different way, or like, is this a really safe matchup? And I have that for a few of the characters in this video. I think for like every character pretty much. Like right here, I'm gonna just like eat the SP1, and you know, Werewolf by Night has one of the highest health pools in the game, so he just ate that like a champion. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Another big pro to this character is that he just is an absolute chunky man, or no, like chunky dog, so he can just eat a ton of hits if he like has to. And for that reason, he still put up a pretty good score, an over 50,000 score against that Bullseye. Now we have Yelena, and we also have dogs barking in the background, which honestly does add to this video because that is literally his people. So yeah, just like, I guess it's featuring them, which honestly makes sense for this character. So yeah, that's fun. I think they stopped actually. Wait. Yeah, I think they stopped. Okay. Well, there goes their feature. That was fun while it lasted. Yeah, this Yelena fight, I do not know how it goes. I take some power burn damage. I go for a parry. It's not the cleanest matchup, like as you can tell, but once we get into the curse of, I don't even want to try to say it, we start to cook, and yeah, here she drops the SP2, and I was like on the ropes there for a bit, but now that like things are back to how they should be, the fight is just pretty much done because I'm in my big damage phase. I dropped the SP2, and yeah, this matchup is as good as over. So actually no, it's not, because I forgot that this has the electric defense node, and I hope that it never comes back. Please, bro, it's such a terrible node. I go for a parry again. I shouldn't have done that, but it's okay because we got lucky. Sometimes it's all about luck, and that was still a very fine attempt. That was like, what, almost 49,000. That was like showing how it is in this meta, like in this Gladiator Circuit meta. It's so much easier, like in the victory track, obviously all of these fights are. And I remember why I put these fights in, because I just want to showcase what it's like when the difficulty is like at the extreme, and like electric defense is a pretty insane factor in the matchup, which it is in like these other matchups. So yeah, electric defense has to go away forever, please. I think we all want that. No one has been enjoying this meta for sure, except for Galan. Galan's feasting, bro. He's having a party with this meta. But yeah, there we dropped the SP2, and back to electric defense, doing electric defense things. I get cornered, because you always do in this meta, because it's so stupid. And yeah, we go back in, we activate the howl somehow, which I don't know how that happened, but that was honestly pretty clutch. We go back in after this, and honestly, dude, for having electric defense in this matchup, he did a very good job of like minimizing the damage taken, except for right now, because like you know, Dark Phoenix will do her thing, and yeah, we take the guaranteed damage. This character is so dumb, bro, but that was still a very good fight time and a very good health amount for a Dark Phoenix matchup. Now we have the Serpent. This is in the power burn meta, so that's, yeah, it's gonna be a really fun time. Like, imagine Serpent, but you can't touch him for like 6 seconds, like, and that's periodic. It's terrible, dude. Like, this meta, oh my god, I hope it never comes back, and I hope that, you know, lessons were learned when thinking about this meta. But yeah, there I get hit, but that's fine because we have the fear on us, which does heal us a bit. Plus, Wolf does have his own regen. I don't know what I did there, but I just ate that hit afterwards like a dog, because he literally is one. So yeah, that's fun. Werewolf by Night, he's so goofy. He just takes no damage at that, so he's really cool and also really safe. So like if you're one of those players that I'm not saying if you're bad, but like if you're one of those players that like you doubt yourself in these scenarios where like you might get hit and you might take damage, like Werewolf by Night, he can eat that like it's nothing. So probably consider ranking him up because he will cook these matchups. Like we got hit like 5 times there, we ended with a full yellow bar. So that's Werewolf by Night for you. Now we have this Maestro fight, power burn meta, so we take that guaranteed damage because of course we do. Bro, this meta is so bad. I can't believe I had to make my super showcase in this meta. Like literally it couldn't have been worse timing on my part. But yeah, here we go for the SP1. And this was actually really good timing, like that was clutch. And now we have like the perfect setup and we can just go haywire right here after the buffs expire. So now we're in the curse and now we have the insane damage output, but also whenever he's in curse he has increased ability accuracy, which means he can bypass glancing very, very well. So for that reason he's like one of the best Maestro counters in the game. And yeah, like he is so good against like Cersei as well. Just like any glancing he is really good for. And yeah, rank 4 Maestro done and dusted. And like usually rank 4 Maestro is insanely tanky and hard to deal with, but Werewolf by Night just absolutely crushed that. And now we're into story content, and I just realized that I had notes and I didn't cover any of them. So wait, let me see. Actually no, I covered half of them. He's like just okay. Let's see. I'm gonna do catch up real quick while we do this this Alliance War showcase, which I completely lied, by the way. I put story content in the like next section. This is not story content. This is part of the Alliance War showcase. So my apologies for lying to you, but I couldn't put it anywhere else. So I was just like, okay, I'll just do a bit of a fib and that's it. So yeah, while I just like I guess atone for my sins, let me look at what else I wrote here. Oh yeah. He has some defensive use because obviously he's a mystic character and he has like the worst AI ever, like literally. He is so bad. He is a doggo, but he is not a good one sometimes because bro, he can literally just like stand there, howl, and then when you try to go in he goes unstoppable, then he just like wrecks you. It's so funny. Okay, it's not funny when like you're on the receiving end, but it is insane. He is so good. He is so good on defense at times, and it's not even because of what he like does abilities wise. It's because of his like behavior. It is so insane, and like for that reason he's a pretty good defender still, and he also has like a ton of health, so that's like a pretty big factor as well. And yeah, so story content, like this is a mystic node. He usually interacts fine with them. Like this is going just fine. He'll be really good for this for sure. And yeah, like that's like the thing about Werewolf by Night is like usually he can interact just fine with these mystic nodes because it's just characters that have buffs, and he takes advantage of that on the SP2, which we're about to drop, I think. Yeah, we're about to drop it. So there we drop it, and then yeah, it does a ton of damage, and this matchup is just going so well at this point. Here he drops the SP1, no big deal. I go back in, and he's about to activate his pod, which I think Kabam once called it the birthing pod, which is insane. How did they even think of that? I swear I saw it on a live stream that they were like, we're gonna call it the birthing pod, and then they didn't, because obviously, dude. But yeah, there's that Werewolf by Night matchup. That was so good. Now we have this Nimrod, which I took out in the first draft of this video, but then I put it back in, so now I'm like really curious why I put it back in. I don't remember this fight, so we're gonna find out together, but apparently I was like, you know what, they can just live with it, and I put it back in, so we're gonna see why. But yeah, Nimrod is very annoying. Obviously he has like the power drain, and that's not good for Werewolf by Night because he wants to like drop those SP2s like they're hot. And yeah, we can't do that if our power is being drained like I didn't realize, like, dude, the power drain is insanely potent. I did not remember it being that bad, but it is like folding us right now. But then again, Werewolf by Night has his own power gain to offset it, so that was the game plan, to just like out power gain the power drain. And I mean, it's working. We dropped the SP2. Not many champions can do that versus Nimrod, so we'll take it. And now the protection is back on though, so that's going to be a bit of a time loss. And honestly, I haven't seen anything bad as to like why I would take out this fight in the first like copy of this video, but maybe like things just go completely off the rails in a second. So I'll have to like watch this closely. But here I dropped the SP2, and okay, I think I know what happens. So we go for the relic, then after this we go for a combo, and look at what happens. There is like one frame where he can attack me, and I was like, you know what, maybe someone's gonna point that out and like comment it, and I was like, wait, why should I care? So I was like, okay, we can just put it back in, because even like if, look, it's fine, right? We still won the fight. That one frame, it could have changed a lot of things, to be fair, but it didn't, so it stays in the video. So now we have this Mordo, and this has the Thorns. So I like, the game plan here is to just like not like hit him at all and just go for purely the blocked hits. And I realized that, hey, people do this in like Alliance War only for a reason, because this is gonna take a long time. Like, this is not his fastest rotation, to put it lightly, or to put it politely at that. So yeah, this is like where I do like a sponsor. Like, I just put it while this fight is happening, because it takes a while. I could get like a whole Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship in this one segment, because it has taken a long time. So yeah, actually no, he's going down now with like those enhanced ruptures from the curse of what's that Pokemon's name? Because it sounds just like what the Werewolf by Night thing is. Lycanroc, right? That's his name? Yeah, the curse of Lycanroc. So once we're in the curse of Lycanroc, he does like enhanced damage with like his ruptures, so it goes by a bit faster. But a bit faster to something that's like already very slow isn't the best, but we take it. We have to be grateful for it. And yeah, so he's like, this is insane utility. Don't get me wrong. I'm making fun of it right now, but that's just because I have to, like, you know, buy time. So, yeah, I'm making fun of it right now, but it is insane utility. Like, having the ability to just, like, not hit the opponent once and still do a ton of damage and minimize their power. Well, he's not doing that against Mordo, because Mordo has his own power, so he kind of just drops the middle finger to Werewolf by Night. But like, otherwise he minimizes the power a ton. And yeah, that was insane. Like, no damage taken on a Thorns node, which like you couldn't tell it was a Thorns node because we didn't take Thorns damage, because we didn't hit the guy and we still got him down. So like, that's insane utility, man. Like, absolutely insane utility. Now we have this Mystic lane, and like, I have in my notes that he's not a usual nullifying Mystic, right? Like, he doesn't really have nullify. He does technically, because he nullifies a regeneration or precision on the opponent on his SP1. And man, you couldn't have picked like any other buffs. I'm sorry, but like a regen buff and a precision buff, man. I don't think there's any cosmic defender that relies on precision. Like, I cannot recall one that's like, yeah, I'm gonna use precision to just end this attacker's life. Like, never has it once happened. Regen, you will see that it does have its use for sure, but precision, man, can we, like, you could have done like Pierce for Hulkling, you could have done like, honestly, dude, you could have like done Fury, because that one's like a pretty standard like cosmic buff, but precision, oh my god. But now we have this Hulkling matchup, and I hate to break kayfabe here, but I had to redo this a ton, because if you notice on the screen there's an indestructible. Imagine dropping your big damage SP2 with that active. That was me, like, I think 5 times, because I didn't learn my lesson until the 6th try, which is this right here, and this timing was absolutely perfect. So yeah, that was so satisfying, and this matchup is going very, very well now. So there I activate the Chilling Howl, I go back in after that, Indestructible's active, so I'm like, okay, this is my chance, and it was my chance, and it was the perfect opportunity, and that was an incredible matchup as well. Now we have this Cersei matchup, and Cersei is one of the fights that Werewolf by Night is pretty good for. I mean, look, Werewolf by Night is good for like any matchup in this game pretty much. This one he's like very good for because of Cersei's like glancing, because he just counters that. And yeah, well, he counters it like once he's in his big damage mode, which he isn't in right now, so I don't know why I even tried to do that. But yeah, now the power gain's gonna be insane from us because of the regenerations. And now we just have a ton of damage right here. We drop the SP2 again, and yeah, just so much damage, and that's it. That's the matchup. That was 30 seconds. Okay. Now we have this mystic lane it's like an energize, and like it's really whatever. Like, you don't really have to have like any certain mystic trope to do this lane, so he is good for it for that reason, because like I said, doesn't have a ton of mystic tropes. I think one of like the mystic tropes he does have are like the best ones to have, where like he has passive power gain and he has ruptures. Those are like the power gain is like a notorious mystic thing. The rupture is a bit of a new one that we saw with like newer mystic characters such as Spiral, and like having rupture as your source of damage output usually is like one of the best things to have, right? I think it's up there with like let's see, like what's similar to it. I think shock is like a bit too common. I think disintegration is better than, I think it's like in the middle. It's like in the middle of like shock and disintegration, because disintegration's the best one. Rupture is like second for sure. And then, actually no, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna, why am I talking about this? Anyway, actually no, I'm talking about it so I can buy time, there we go. And yeah, I bought the time, bought it from a scalper, so it was increased prices, but I still bought the time. But I still want to talk about that, because that is important to talk about, given that like it is talking about his damage source. Rupture is insane, because not many champions are immune to it. There is like one drawback of Rupture, and it's, people might not be immune to it, but you can stop it by having increased physical resistance, since it is a physical DOT. I think it's the only physical DOT. And yeah, like that's why it's so good, because it is a physical DOT that's not really common, and it's kind of hard to, actually no, it's not hard to stop, but it's just not common. But like any physical resistance node can stop him for sure. And like if he gets too crazy, if you want to like really be like a tryhard, you can put like the physical resistance stat focus on your defenders to try to stop him. But then again, that will just like kind of slow him down, but really won't do like all too much. But now we have the bosses and the 1 million health pools. So in my notes for the story, I put that this was his perfect health pool range. The bosses, not so much. Then again, I did write this. He usually needs to be a very good like counter to the matchup for him to be good in these health pools. So by that I mean, that was terribly written by the way, but by that I mean, if it's like a buff heavy matchup where he gets that increased damage output and he gets that mystic dispersion flow, he is insane for these like higher health pools. If it's a standard vanilla, like no buffs, no increased damage source, no mystic dispersion, he won't be like the best character, but he can still do it, right? Because he's Werewolf by night, he can do pretty much anything. But to really see him do well in these higher health pools, you really want to see like buffs or just anything that can like fuel his damage output, or anything that can just like fuel his power flow. Once he has those things, he is insane for these higher health pools, like this Icarus boss, where after every SP2, we're ripping 20,000 burst damage on those final hits, and that was a like under 1 minute takedown. And then again, like I could be wrong about him not being like insanely good for these higher health pools if there's no buffs or anything, because I usually see him like in Alliance War against like that polka dot power onslaught, and like he does a very good job there. I don't remember if the fight time is good, but I know that he does do the fight, and like he does it pretty well. Then again, it's Alliance War, so like everyone is turbo boosted, but that still doesn't take away the fact that he can perform well in like those higher health pool matchups and mini bosses. But now we have like a really good matchup for him, which is his Silver Surfer, where Surfer has like quite a few buffs, and we take advantage of that. And look at that rupture damage, dude. That is 2,000 like per tick, and that's a lot of ticks. Like that is insane rupture. Like that's insane, bro. And yeah, it just like, it's crazy because the numbers, like he's one of those champions where it might not feel like you're doing a ton of damage, but you are. and then you look at like the right side of your screen and you see all those numbers ticking and you're like, oh, so he is doing a ton of damage, because he is doing a ton of damage right here. Then he drops the SP2 and that's it. So that was like, what, that was like a minute and something. And like, yeah, for 1 million health fight, that is insane. Obviously, like, not many champions can do it in 2 minutes nonetheless. But yeah, now we have this Galan. This one's crazy. Like, this one's actually crazy. I forgot how like scary Galan is at times, because if you let him get to his harvest, and like it's so crazy because he gets the harvest and you literally can't do anything about it. Like, he will just rip away like half your health and you have to just like sit there and watch. Like, it is it's so bad. And it's all like, it sucks because like it says like harvest imminent, and it's like, so what can I do about it? He's like, nah, nothing, you're just gonna take the damage. And it's like, okay. Like, thank you, Galan, so nice of you, man. And speaking of taking the damage, we are in the danger zone right now because he has 70 charges and he's like a sneeze away from the SP1, so if he drops that, we're cooked. But then I dropped the SP2, which gets rid of the charges, and now we're back into like safety, but not for long because he drops the SP1 immediately. So it's like, okay, let me drop the SP2 again, and then the 4 Furies expire, which puts us at a very good power level, and now we have complete control of the fight because we go for 1 more SP2, and yeah, now we're back into full control of this matchup, and then we're not because he drops the SP1. So it's like, yeah, you're out of danger, then you're back in danger immediately with Galan. Very, very fun defender, man. But yeah, this matchup is over though because I just dropped 1 more SP2, and yeah, this should do it. And if I sound different, I'm sorry. I had to take a break because apparently I can't do 40 minutes in a row anymore because I'm washed. But yeah, now we have this Gore, and remember, I only made fun of him nullifying precision. I didn't say anything about regen because of Gore right here, since Gore is a cosmic character that has a very nasty regen, so having access to nullify for that is really, really good. I'm still gonna clown the precision though, because I have never heard of a threatening precision before, unless I'm like really mistaken. But I swear there has never been once in my life where I'm like, a precision buff, I am terrified, Werewolf by Night, please get rid of that. There's never been one time where I've like thought that ever. But regeneration though, there has been cases where I'm like, okay, that's a ton of regen, can you please get rid of that? And Werewolf by Night, he got me there. But yeah, this Gore fight is really good for Werewolf because Werewolf by Night's SP2 does more damage based on the number of buffs the opponent has, and Gore has a ton of buffs on top of the regen, which we can nullify to get extra power on the SP1. So he is like a perfect Gore counter because he also has Ruptures, which count for despair, which can just stop the healing completely. So in my opinion, I think that Gore, well, I meant to say Werewolf by Night, but I'm gonna try to say something about Gore to make me not look stupid. In my opinion, I think Gore is dumb and Werewolf by Night is his best counter. There we go, I saved it. I am so sorry for today's commentary. I've just been like on one. I don't know. I can't be professional for 40 minutes. Okay, that's too much to ask. But now we have this Red Skull, and like I said, for him to be good in these higher health pools, or like for him to be like as insane as he is in like Battlegrounds in these higher health pools, it has to be a really good matchup for Werewolf by Night. Red Skull is kind of that because you do get that increased damage output on the SP2. However, he can't nullify the armor ups. No Mystic can, right? Because he's immune to that. But when you don't get rid of the armor ups, it does slow down the fight significantly. So he ends up being a bit like on, no, I wouldn't say the slower side. Like, I'll just spoil it. The fight time is 2 minutes and 31 seconds. That's like not, doesn't really feel up to like Werewolf by Night's level usually, but then again, this is like a very stall heavy defender, so yeah, like it was bound to be a bit of a longer fight, especially if he's not an armor break champion, which let me check the kit. Yeah, there's none for Werewolf by Night, but it's still a good showcase of him being able to take these high-end defenders at these health pools. He can still do Yelena. It is a bit of a longer fight though because he doesn't have anything to enhance his damage against Yelena. He's just good against her in those shorter bursty like health pools. Same thing with like Onslaught. He can do Onslaught at these health pools, but it won't be like it won't be like a fast fight per se. Like the other mystics, he still absolutely claps, like for sure. But yeah. Let's see. What else do I have to say about this? Yeah, like he's just good versus buff champs. Like Rezko right here, he does have like that pretty nasty burst damage on the SP2 still, which does play a big part into making this fight like not bad at all in my opinion. So yeah, here he drops the SP2. The Unstoppable does feed our Mystic Dispersion. The armor up still, unfortunately, but that's okay because the Unstoppable is more than enough. Here we go back in, then we drop the SP2 in a second. We drop the Relic first actually, and then we drop the SP2, and the damage output is very, very nice. And yeah, now we have to avoid the auto block. That kind of messed up this whole thing. If he didn't drop that, I would have had like the perfect ending for this matchup, but now I have to restart my curse charges, and yeah, that's not fun. And this matchup is over though, thankfully. And yeah, that was, like I said, 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Not the fastest, not the slowest, but like honestly, dude, Werewolf by Night, we have been like putting him through the worst of the worst, right? Like Yelena, Serpent, Dark Fiend. Like I put this matchup in this video because I just want him to chill, right? I just want to give him a matchup where he doesn't have to worry about anything. There's no hard 5 out of 5 defender antics. He can just do his damage and have fun. Cause oh my god, like literally Werewolf by Night, he is literally like my clutch in Battlegrounds, and like he has to always endure the worst. So you know how like you give dogs treats, this is his treat. I'm feeding him Venom Pool, and like Venom Pool has like no threats whatsoever, so it's like just purely his damage for like y'all to see, and it's so good because obviously it's Werewolf by Night. Like his damage output when he can actually just like pop off and not have to worry about like 5 out of 5 defender things is really good. And it's crazy how like even in those matchups where it's like you have to deal with the 5 out of 5 defender antics, he still has really good damage, and he's like on the faster side of those matchups. Like for example, Serpent, he's still like one of the faster Serpent options. He's still one of the faster Dark Phoenix options. He's one of the faster Yelena options. He might be the fastest one, to be honest. But yeah, this matchup is almost done. We're about to go for the SP2 to put it away for good. And yeah, here he drops the SP1, no big deal. Go back in, drop the SP2, beautiful burst damage, beautiful rupture damage, and this matchup is over. And yeah, so that was the second to last fight. Then we have one more fight after this, and this is the what I like to call the ultimate damage test, where I have full boost activated and we have like full attack synergy, and this is like the pinnacle of his damage output. Well, okay, technically no, because Red Goblin doesn't have 9 buffs, and I'm pretty sure the maximum damage output on his SP2 comes from 9 buffs, but this will do, okay? But yeah, this is Necropolis. This is the last fight in the video, and as you can see, there's a lot of time left on the video still, so is he the fastest Necropolis option? Obviously not, but it's still a great way to showcase his damage output. However, there is one little issue. I can't talk about this fight for 7 minutes, so we're gonna have to try to find some things to talk about. Some quick notes though for this fight is while I'm fully boosted, his ruptures scale with base attack only. So, well, okay, partially scale with base attack only, because his like medium and like light attack ruptures scale with it, but then his special 2 ruptures are like just go crazy. Like if you have attack, they're gonna go crazy pretty much. So like he was insane for this one meta. I think it was Power Shield, where like he would just rip the SP2 and it'd just be game over. It was so, I remember like a 5-star Werewolf by Night was the best attacker in the game. That was so fun. And like that's when we really saw like just how powerful the character could be. And then like once that meta was gone, we all thought like, okay, well there goes his value, right? Like he's just gonna be irrelevant. And then we gave him a chance, and like he was still like really good, because people like noticed that, hey, this Werewolf by Night guy, he's taking literally any defender in this meta. I wonder if he can do that outside of this meta. And the answer was yeah, he could, because he's just that versatile. And to this day, like when I was deciding my rank 4s from the Torch event, I was like, okay, I want to take up someone that I can make a great video out of because they're just so versatile. Whenever like I think about rank ups, I do think about content because look, I just like making content, so I want to like have really good champions to go with the videos. I'm not gonna like force y'all to watch like the most unbearable character. I want them to be like kind of fun at least. Then again, I have posted some pretty boring rank ups before, but anyway, yeah, like I want them to be like very versatile and like able to do a lot of stuff for videos. But I also want them to be like good and like, you know, meta stuff, so I'm not just like burning their resources. And Werewolf by Night, he caught my eye because I was like, wait a second. Werewolf by Night, I remember like used to be insanely versatile, and like he was the go-to champion for a lot of fights back in the day. How is he in 2025? And that was like an answer, like that was a question that I couldn't get the answer to because I didn't really see much gameplay of him in 2025. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna test him out. I'm gonna see what's up. And he's insane. Like he's literally the best Yelena option in my opinion. And I was like, yeah, he needs to go to rank 4 because he's just so good. And at rank 4, like okay, so I feel like when he's punching up, he might not be the most impressive thing out there because obviously like punching up with a character that scales with base attack is like usually not the best idea. Like for example, Galan outside of this disgusting meta, like punching up is just a no-go usually. But like Werewolf by Night is pretty much the same I feel like, but if it's equal ranks or like if he's punching down, he's gonna be insane, and he's proven to be like absolutely insane. When I'm punching down on like bullseyes, I can like literally full yellow bar it. Same thing with like Yelena's. Well, actually no, because like Yelena is insane, like equal ranks even. So yeah, this character, I was like, dude, why is no one talking about this? Like okay, maybe I'm just like not on the YouTube scene as much these days, like when it comes to watching other players, but I swear I have not seen this guy get talked about all that often. I think I saw like one rank 4 video from him and like that's about it, but dude, he hasn't lost a step. Like he has not lost a step at all. Or like, yeah, a step, right? Actually no, wait. No, you walk dogs, so like dogs takes the I'm like trying to be funny, like say like a dog version of it, but like they walk, so it's like taking steps. So yeah, like he hasn't lost a step. But yeah, like out of all the rank ups I did from the Human Torch event, which, dude, by the way, oh my god, I was literally semi-retired when that event happened, and I had like 6 rank 4 7 stars. After the event ended, I'm like back to content creation, and I have 14, about to be 15 rank 4s. Like that is insane. And like I don't want to talk about the offers too much because that's just not like a fun topic to talk about, because obviously there are problems with that. But out of those rank 4s that I did, well, I don't know actually. I was gonna say like he was the most beneficial, but Human Torch is crazy. Namor has been like the MVP of this meta. Gladiator 2, like I think I just cooked with the rank 4s to be honest. Like Jean Grey also has been really, really good. But no, I think I have to give it to Werewolf by Night because his matchup spread is like literally unlike anyone that I've ever ranked up. It is so crazy just how many fights this guy can do. There I get hit, but like, dude, it's a Necropolis fight. If you ever see a perfect Necropolis fight, they restart it like 10 times. Like it's just like a fact, bro. You can't be this perfect for like 8 minutes. Like they restarted like probably like in the double digits. But yeah, Werewolf by Night is just so versatile, and he's just come in clutch so many times in like the literal toughest scenarios, like Yelena and like Bullseye and Dark Phoenix and Zola. Dude, like if you can take Zola as a mystic character, that is like unreal. I know Juggernaut does take him, but there's like this copy pasta of like any debuff that can stop Juggernaut. Whenever I think of Juggernaut, I think of that, and then I'm like, how is this guy good? Because there's just so many debuffs. So I'm like thinking in my head, is Juggernaut like better than Werewolf by Night? But then I'm like, no, he's like nowhere near versatile. Like he can't do Yelena, he can't do Dark Phoenix, can't do Serpent. Like people like to like really, really glaze Juggernaut as like the craziest mystic character, but when you like really think about it, I think what makes a mystic character crazy is their matchup spread, and Werewolf by Night just has like the craziest one, dude. Like it is crazy how many 5 out of 5 meta current defenders this guy can take without even breaking a sweat. Like, it is insane, and it's so cool, because this is, like, one of the coolest characters ever made, man. It's a werewolf. That is insane. That is so cool. And, like, I just love this character's vibes. I love Halloween. I love the holidays, so, like, any character that reminds me of Halloween, or, like, Christmas, or Thanksgiving, like, any of the holidays, I'm all in on that character. Werewolf by Night, like, besides Jack-o'-lantern, is, like, the most perfect Halloween character. And, like, speaking of Jack-o'-lantern, like, they give a lot of love to these characters, because, like, Jack-o'-lantern's crazy, and Werewolf by Night is, like, the top of his class, and he's also done with this fight, so, yeah, he's just so cool, man, like, really, really cool character, and I just, like, love his vibes, and yeah, it's, like, great when the character's really fun to play, which Werewolf by Night, obviously, really fun to play, because of his animations, and, like, you're playing as a werewolf, so you just feel so powerful, and, like, just so useful, man. Just such a useful character. If you have this character, give him a try. I've shown you so many, like, reasons to use him in this video, so for sure try him out. I also have in my notes Good Doggo, which he most definitely is. He deserves all the love, because man, he endures the worst of it. Like, whenever he has to go against, like, Elena or, like, Dark Phoenix, I'm like, bro, I feel so bad for you, but hopefully this video helps people recognize that he is, like, the top mystic character. So let me know your thoughts on Werewolf by Night, and let me know your thoughts on, like, you know, these longer showcases. 40 minutes is a long time for sure, but hey, if you want to see more of these, I will gladly make them. I had a ton of fun with this commentary, because I just kind of just disregarded everything, just had fun with it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on those things, and yeah, that's about it for me.